Well, call me stupid, but I'm going to attempt to drive somewhere, and it has just snowed at least 6 inches, likely closer to 10 or more of white powder. I think I'm going to be okay if I stick to the major roads, but we're going to find out. So, hopefully I'll get some decent footage of this very large storm system. And there's our first problem. Can I get past this thing? The answer is yes. Okay, second problem. Is this still clear? As earlier. The answer to this question is also yes. We're free. Yeah, I guess it's a decent time to go over some of my winter weather safe driving tips, I guess. Not that I'm too much of an expert, but I did grow up in Minnesota, so I should know a thing or two about winter driving. Biggest thing probably is don't go slow, especially when you're trying to go up a hill, because what'll happen is you think you gotta go slow so you don't slip and slide, but when there comes a point where the low friction of the snow causes your tires to spin out and you lose your traction, and suddenly you can't go up anymore. It's one of my pet peeves is drivers do that, because what you really got to do, especially if it's a straight stretch of hill, is you got to get plenty of lead time between the car in front of you. Maybe at least a football field length if it's a steep hill type of a deal. Wow, you can see the airport lights lit up with the snow. It's very pretty. And you just get a running start. Just hit the gas and hope for the best. Tip 2 going along with that is a good strategy is to just avoid the hills altogether. Avoid driving if you can, but avoid the hills altogether. So don't. You gotta think. You gotta think ahead on these big snow events. You got to know where you're trying to go. You got to know the neighborhoods you're trying to go and plan accordingly. You got to be willing to take the long route, as I'm doing now. This is far from the most direct route to where I'm going, but all the side streets, as you can see, are not plowed. You have to stick to the main drags. Know the ones that are plowed. Stick to those. U.S. highways, interstates, major city roads, those kind of things. A lot of times, at least up north, they'll have a snow emergency plan where they'll detail which roads are plowed, and you can actually find that information out online. So know your route and stick to your plan. Spent a half an hour shoveling my dad's Civic out once, and I was like, well, you got to go half mile down the hill till you get to George Street, which they always plowed, and then turn left to get onto the main drag, even though, he's just trying to get to the street a half a block over. But he went 5 blocks down, thought he saw a clear patch, and went and got stuck again. So you can save yourself a lot of grief by just thinking a few minutes before you drive anywhere. Let's see. You got to drive under control. Notice I did not say slow. There's a difference between slow and under control. Under control is having a decent grasp of what the conditions are like and driving as fast as is safe to do and as traffic allows, because you want to maintain as much momentum as possible. You want to keep moving, if at all possible. Slow driving is assuming that it is so bad that I cannot possibly drive very quickly, and you end up causing other drivers a lot of grief because you're going very slow, slower than you need to, and maybe cars that don't have as good traction as yours, such as my vehicle, really suffer for it. And also you can cause yourself a lot of grief if you get stuck trying to, say, go up a hill or something like that. I know, like, there's not really a great way to put this, but don't stop if you don't have to. Obviously, if it's a major intersection or there's other cars on the road, yeah, you got to try to stop. It's a stop sign or a stoplight or something like that, and I'm not saying run red lights here, but for stop signs, especially on city streets where there isn't a lot of traffic, you control your approach to the intersection. You slow down enough to see that it's clear, but usually I just keep on going. Coming to a complete stop in the snow is about the worst thing you can do. And it's just going to end up clogging the intersection and potentially causing an accident if someone else is trying to turn in or something like that. So use prudence, but you don't have to always follow the letter of the law, so to speak. Really stupid thing to do is stopping and then trying to turn and go up a hill. There's something like that by my house, and man, I've had to shovel out so many cars. Caught a school bus once, police car, snow plow even. Took out the fire hydrant, I think. That was a rough one. So just keep your car under control and keep your momentum. That's kind of the biggest tricks, and especially with kind of traction control kind of cars, those will give you a good idea of when you're going too fast or trying to accelerate too hard, when you feel your wheels spinning or you start to lose steering control. That's when I know I gotta ease off the gas a little bit. Not completely, because you do not want to stop. Another thing I'll do, like I'll try to model now, although it's kind of redundant because the snow's not very deep, but for stop signs like this, a way to get around the whole no stopping thing is I'll just go, if there's no traffic behind me especially, I'll go real slow like this, but just maintain some sort of momentum. And then when it turns green, I can punch through. Man, these side streets do not look very good. I might not be able to get to my destination after all, but it's fun to get out. I just had to get out and see it before it's all plowed away and darkened by all the mud and the salt and things like that. It's a good idea to bring a shovel in your car. If you can, a good metal scoop shovel. Those are the best. The cheap plastic ones you get are not very good. So it pays to plan ahead. If you're in one of these states maybe that doesn't get big snow every year, or maybe you get one a year, it pays in the off season or whenever. You can order ahead on Amazon, get a nice metal scoop shovel. They work wonders. Having a bag of, if you have a rear-wheel drive car, which is not too common anymore, but I've heard sandbags in the trunk to keep the wheels on the ground, give you better traction. The sandbag also helps if you or others are stuck. You can help shovel them out. That's the other thing about having a shovel in your car, is it lets you be of service to your neighbor, which is a very Minnesotan thing, but I feel could benefit our times a lot. Just being of service. See someone who's stuck, first make sure you're not going to put yourself in danger, like if they're on a major roadway. Don't get out and hunt someone. I know there was, unfortunately, a man was killed in Texas a week ago. There was a car that spun out on ice. He got out to help them, and he got hit by another car and killed. So exercise prudence always. It's safer to be in your car than out of your car in that case. But having a shovel along can help you lend a hand to someone who's stuck. You can be someone's hero for a day. Maybe someone's got an appointment or something that, you know, is really urgent, and they had to be out. It's not their fault. But they, you know, sometimes you got things that you can't get around, and you have to be out there. You try to do the best you can and plan ahead. Oh, here we go. There's one. Poor fella. They're, if you come across someone like this out in the country, it's probably a good idea to check and see if there's anyone in the car. Although presumably they would have been out and about with a flashlight, but you never know. You know, in the northern states, my dad from North Dakota, he out there, it gets real cold. So he always wants to pack a sleeping bag in the car and stuff like that. I always thought it was a little overdone, but you know, the truth is when you're out and about, and if you get stuck, you know, you can't see the ditch because it's all full of snow and you go nose in, well, no one's going to come tow you out. You might have to spend the night. And who's to say you'll even have cell reception out in some of these places. So, you know, having some food and water, and the main thing is warmth. A lot of times it'll get bitter cold after a snow. Or in the case of now, it's just kind of bitter cold all the time. Another tip is just kind of common sense, but follow wheel ruts. Don't blaze your own trail. Another pro tip is pump your brakes. Don't do what that guy did. Don't rely on your ABS. You gotta plan your brakes in advance. And pump them, don't pump them. But those are just a few things that come to mind, I guess. Bit of a ramble, but pays to be prudent. One could argue what I'm doing is not very prudent, but I just have to see this. So, and it is sure pretty, and these main roads are very good. So I should have no trouble getting home, as long as I'm not stupid and get myself stuck in a. Good job, dudes. It's a tough job. Here's some more. Yeah, I always like to. These guys deserve a lot more credit than they get, so. My turnoff is coming soon, and you might all just see a storm chaser just talk about safe driving in the snow and then get himself stuck. Wow, visibility is really going down here. It's a blizzard! Oh no! Oh, here's another fella. I can be of assistance to this man. Well, they got themselves unstuck before I got there. Believe it or not, I was only out of the car about 2 minutes, and already the front is covered. Well, that's what we in Minnesota like to call being a good neighbor. Woo! Oh gosh. Nothing fancy. Alright, and I always like to back out my own tracks. Make sure they're good and padded down. I'll bet you I'm going to be the only one here. Alright, we're starting home. Here's hoping. Ain't no such thing as lanes in a snowstorm. It's like ethereal. This I-beams, sir. Who takes their sports car out in snow like this? I guess people that only have one car and it's a sports car. Well, serves you right, I guess. Alright. It's boomer bust time, folks. We have ourselves a big honking hill, 12 inches of snow, and a Honda Civic. Giddy up, Teddy, let's go. Oh, we got it made. Attaboy, Ted. Doing me proud, boy. Fun part is on turns, knowing how much momentum you need to have, but you don't want to have too much, or you'll end up in a snowbank like I did once, half a block from home. I stopped about 6 inches short of the stop sign, quite literally. Woo! Hot dog. Oh, no. Oh, man. So close, but so far. Well, I'll break out the shovel, and we'll make it. But we made it. Exciting times.
Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you found it enjoyable. Please let me know down in the comments all the snow driving tips I may have forgotten. Also, please feel free to share all of your own crazy snow driving adventures with me. In any case, keep pursuing your dreams, but don't forget to stop and admire the beautiful vistas you encounter along the way.
Thinking of a decent song like that. More power! Like a boat.